Okay, we're going to start on page 147. Fourth paragraph says he watched. So here we go. He watched the dark, steaming mixture pour into a collapsible tin cup, which was handed him straight off. He sipped it gingerly and felt them looking at him with curiosity. His lips were scalded, but that was good. The faces around him were bearded, but the beards were clean, neat, and their hands were clean. They had stood up as if to welcome the guest, and now they sat down again. Montag sipped. "Thanks," he said. "Thanks very much. You're welcome, Montag." His name's Ganger. He held out a small bottle of colorless fluid. "Drink this too. It'll change the chemical index in your perspiration. Half an hour from now you'll smell like two other people, with the hound after you. The best thing is bottoms up." Montag drank the bitter fluid. "You'll stink like a bobcat, but that's all right," said Ganger. "You know my name," said Montag. Ganger nodded to the portable battery TV, set up by the fire. I just totally lost my face for a second. That was weird. Oh, there it is, by the fire. "We've watched the chase. Figured you'd end up south along the river. When we heard you're plugging around out in the forest like a drunken elk, we didn't hide as well as we usually do. We figured you were in the river." When the helicopter camera swung back in over the city, "Something funny there. The chase is still running. The other way, though." "The other way?" "Let's have a look." Ganger snapped the portable viewer on. The picture was a nightmare. Condensed, easily passed from hand to hand in the forest, all whirling color and flight. A voice cried. The chase continued. North in the city. Police helicopters are covering on Avenue 87, the Elm Grove Park. Granger nodded. "They're faking. You threw them off at the river. They can't admit it. They know they can hold their audience only so long, so the show's got to have a snap ending quick. If they start searching the whole damn river, it might take all night, so they're sniffing for a scapegoat to end things with a bang. Watch. They'll catch Montag in the next 5 minutes." "But how? Watch." The camera, hovering in the belly of the helicopter, now swung down at an empty street. "See that?" whispered Ganger. "It'll be you, right up at the end of the street and our victim. See, our camera is coming in, building the scene. Suspense. Long shot, right now. Some poor fellow is out for a walk, a rarity, an odd one. Don't you think the police don't know the habit of queer ducks like that? Maybe morning for the hell of it, for reasons of insomnia. Anyway, the police have had him charted for months, years. Never known that sort of information might be handy. And today, it turns out, it's very usable indeed. It saves face. Oh God, look there." The men at the fire bent forward. On the screen, a man turned a corner. The mechanical hound rushed forward into the viewer, and suddenly the helicopter lights shot down. A dozen brilliant pillars that bullet a cage about the man. The voice cried, "There's Montag. The search is done." The innocent man stood bewildered, a cigarette burning in his hand. He stared at the hound, not knowing what it was. He probably never knew. He glanced up at the sky and the wailing sirens. The camera rushed down. The hound leaped up into the air with a rhythm and sense of timing, and was incredibly beautiful. Its needle shot out. It was suspended for a moment in their gaze, as if to give the vast audience time to appreciate everything. The raw look of the victim's face, the empty street, steel animal, a bullet nosing the target. Montag, don't move, said a voice from the sky. The camera fell upon the victim, even as it did the hound. Both reached him simultaneously. The victim was seized by the hound and camera in a great spidering clenched grip. He screamed, he screamed, he screamed. Blackout. Silence. Darkness. Montag cried out to the silence and turned away. Silence. And then, after a time of men sitting around the fire, their faces expressionless, an announcer on the dark screen said, "The search is over. Montag is dead. A crime against society has been avenged." Darkness. We now take to the sky room for the Hotel Lux of half an hour just before dawn, a program of, and then it just kind of blurs out from there. Hold on a second, I need to respond to something. Okay. Granger turned it off. They didn't show the man's face in focus. Did you notice? Even your best friends couldn't tell if it was you. They scrambled it just enough to let the imagination take over. "Hell," he whispered, "hell." Montag still nothing but now. Looking back, sat his eyes, fixed to the blank screen, trembling. Granger touched Montag's arm. "Welcome back from the dead." Montag nodded. Granger went on. "You might as well know, all of us know. This is Fred Clement, former occupant of the Thomas Hardy Chair at Cambridge in the years before it became an atomic engineering school. This is Dr. Simmons from UCLA, a specialist in Ortega and Gasset. Professor West here did quite a bit for ethics, an ancient study for now Columbia University, quite some years now. Reverend Padover here gave a few lectures 30 years ago and lost his flock between one Sunday and the next for his views. He's been bumming with us some time now. Myself, I wrote a book called The Fingers in the Glove, the proper relationship between the individual and the society. And here I am. Welcome, Montag." "I don't belong with you," said Montag at last slowly. "I've been an idiot all the way. We're used to that. We all made the right kinds of mistakes, or we wouldn't be here. When we separate individuals, all we have was rage. I struck a fireman." Whoa, 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 whoa. What the? I struck a fireman when I came to burn my library years ago. I've been running ever since. You want to join us, Montag? Yes. What have you to offer? Nothing, I thought. I had part of the book of Ecclesiastes and maybe a little of Revelation, but I haven't even that now. The book of Ecclesiastes would be fine. Where was it? Here. Montag touched his head. Ah, Granger smiled and nodded. "What's wrong? Isn't that all right?" said Montag. "Better than all right. Perfect." Granger turned to the Reverend. "Do you have a book of Ecclesiastes?" "One. A man named Harris in Youngstown." Montag. Granger took Montag's shoulder firmly. "Walk carefully. Guard your health if anything should happen to Harris. You are the book to Ecclesiastes. See how important you've become in the last minute?" "But I've forgotten." "No, nothing ever lost. We have ways to shake down the clinkers for you, but I try to remember." "Don't try. It'll come when you need it. All of us have photographic memory. but spend a lifetime learning how to block off the things that are really in there. Simon Simon's here was worked on it for 20 years, and now we've got the method down to where we can recall anything that's been read once. Would you like someday? Whoa. Would you like someday, Montag, to read Plato's Republic? Of course. I'm Plato's Republic. Like to read Marcus Aurelius, Mr. Simon, and Marcus. How do you know? Ugh. How do you do? Said Mr. Simmons. Hello, said Montag. I want to meet you and Jonathan Swift, the author of the evil political book, Gulliver's Travels. Gulliver's Travels, and this other fellow in Charles Darwin. This one in school stenographer, and this one is Einstein, and this one here is my elbow at his Albert Einstein, blah blah. I don't know how to say his name. A very kind philosopher indeed. Here all we are, Montag. Aristophanes and Mahatma Gandhi and Gautama Buddha and Confucius and Thomas Love Peacock and Thomas Jefferson and Mr. Lincoln, and if you please, we also Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Okay. Alright. That was hard to stumble through. Alright, I'm going to read this last one paragraph thing here, and then we'll go to the next video. Everyone laughed quietly. It can be, said Montag. It is, replied Granger, smiling. Alright, so there's that. I'll see y'all next video. Deuces.